going the distance with local sports. This is the xSports Network.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
Employee Resources Credit Union is an easy solution to banking, offering a personal, simple, yet modern way to bank. When you bank with ERCU, you are a shareholder, meaning you own a piece of the pie. And we make it easy with the convenience of digital banking, with service you won't find at another financial institution, including low to zero fees and incredible rates. We have the technology you need with the personal service you deserve, right here in your own neighborhood. Employee Resources Credit Union, not for profit, for service.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Fall on the Hill returns to Minor Hill October 7th from 2 to 8 with live music all day, vendors, hay rides, a petting zoo, pony wagon rides, a pop-up paint party, face painting, putt-putt golf, a jams and jellies contest, inflatables, and much more. Plus, don't miss the fireworks show at 8 p.m. Fall on the Hill 2023, brought to you by Minor Hill Alliance and Liquor World. Enjoy a day full of awesome music from Brace Killen, Damon Schrader, Josh Reisner, and Salem Rats. Armbands are $5. Don't miss Fall on the Hill, October 7th from 2 to 8 at 165 Ray Branch Road in Minor Hill, Tennessee.
From the xSports Network, this is xSports Live, presented by Hinie's BBQ.
And welcome everybody back here to xSports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ. I'm AJ Good, joined alongside Hayden Burks. Hayden making a triumphant return. You know, someone had to come back. You know, Dusty's out training for a marathon. Clint's trying to find a way to get pregnant. So, you know, it's me and you this
Somebody
week.
had to show up.
Someone had to show up.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back, of course. You know, I just try to come as whenever I can. You know, we had practice at 5:45 this morning, so I was like, well, I'm done with my class, done my homework. Why not make us return tonight? So I'm excited to be here and can't wait to get to talk about what I get to talk about.
Yeah, coming up a little bit later, we'll have Loretto head volleyball coach Nick Quillen with us again, coming off a heart-stopping, heart-pounding, thrilling 5-set win over Summertown for the district title, and also visited Florence, Alabama today to talk with a couple members of the North Alabama football team. We'll have that coming up a little bit later, but first let's recap what's happened in local sports in the area, starting first with, well, really outside of the volleyball teams, the talk of the county, it's the Loretto football team. First 7-0 start since 1991. Wasn't, you know, quite the dominating performance some of us thought, but East Hickman gave them a good fight. They're able to pull out the win in the end. And man, this team is looking pretty formidable. Like one of what could be one of the favorites in Class 2A coming up here as the playoffs are just 4 weeks away.
Absolutely. You know, this team, like, they haven't skipped a beat. Like, you know, they had their starting quarterback get hurt earlier in the season, and Mason Tidwell, he came in and took over, and he hadn't missed a beat since for this Loretto team. But, hey, shout out to that coaching staff, because, I mean, they've told us all along, like, hey, this team is, like, special, and this team is one team that Loretto team has never really had before, and it's showing why. I mean, they're 7-0 going into region play. So
an incredible team. It's been so much fun to watch them this year. And you know, they got Eagleville at home coming up next week. Them, Lawrence County, Summertown, I believe Richland are all on bye weeks this week. Tennessee is, North Alabama is.
West Virginia, as you said, is out.
On bye week. So, we can have a relaxing weekend.
Yeah, a little bit. And of course,
week.
you just get to watch a little bit more football because most of the time most people, how they tune into their teams, and then they just kind of watch and see how everybody else plays.
We got some big ones this weekend, but
Absolutely.
we'll get to those a little bit later on. And now moving on, Lawrence County football-wise, tough one at Tullahoma. That was a game that, I know the score says 41-6. They were in it pretty much about the halfway mark in the third quarter. They had some chances, some opportunities. The score really isn't indicative of really how competitive that game was. However, they've got a bye week. They move on. Shelbyville, Franklin County coming up at home, a visit to Cheatham County to end it, NARM region game. But realistically, the way everything's shaping out, they win one of those two games. They're in the postseason for the first time since 2015, but got to take care of business. And obviously, bye week, get some rest, get some of these these injuries healed up or whatnot, and just kind of move forward.
Yeah, and absolutely. With the bye week, that's the main point with the bye week. Just having your guys getting ready to get for the next game, and also healing up from those injuries, and also just kind of toning it down. Like, hey, let's kind of rejuvenate. Let's get ready for our next game. And I'm sure the coaches, Coach Marshall, telling the guys like, hey, look, let's put everything behind us. This is a bye week. This is our time to rest. Y'all do what y'all need to do to get ready for the upcoming week. And then, like you said, they win some of those games. They're in the postseason. I think that's what the main goal that the coaches are telling in their locker room right now.
You got to give a big shout out to another team out in Wayne County right now. Collinwood's won 5 in a row. Yeah, has won 5 in a row. Their only losses to Loretto. That football team is looking really, really good right now.
Absolutely, and like I said, I haven't watched enough of Collinwood this year, but from what I've heard from you guys and people I've talked to, they are one of the top-notch teams in Wayne County. If they went head-to-head with some of these teams like Lawrence County, Summertown, and Loretto, like you said, Loretto, that was a pretty close game until the end there. But still,
they had a lead going into the fourth quarter.
Exactly. So shout out to Collinwood. We don't really give them enough recognition and credit for what they've built down there, but sure enough, it's showing off for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Very excited about that. Now let's move on to some high school volleyball. We had a thriller last night in Mount Pleasant Middle School. We were talking about earlier, it felt like a state tournament game. Summertown, Loretto went into 5 sets for the district championship game. Lady Mustangs come out on top. If that's the preview for what's to come, if those two meet up again, say on Monday at Loretto in the region championship game, then maybe again the state tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun when those two get together, but that one seemed to be pretty special the other night.
Absolutely, especially in this area, when we got Loretto and Summertown playing each other. It's a rivalry game, but also it's a good time for the community to get together and watch those two play. But hey, like you said earlier, you said it was a state tournament setting environment. So I think it's good for the players, absolutely, because to be used to that environment of, hey, we're about to go in the region, and more than likely we're going to make a run at the state. And so for them to get ready for what's to come. So I'm really excited for what both Summertown and Loretto have coming up for them.
Lawrence County got a win against Shelbyville. Their district semifinals and championship tomorrow at Shelbyville, oddly enough. Got Columbia for championship will be at about 7-ish. Obviously, it's hard to keep volleyball tournaments on schedule. Yep. You never know how many sets are going to go down, but more than likely you're going to meet Lincoln County in there. Then they've got the region tournament coming up next week, but this is a team also trying to get back to Murfreesboro and trying to just keep that momentum riding here.
Absolutely, and that's what Lawrence County volleyball has been like the past few years. They've been a really good team, and they made several runs the past few years. So, credit to their coaching staff and their players. At the start of the year, they just trying to get the little kinks out and all stuff, but ever since they started district play and getting into the region sooner or later, hey, this team can make a run, in my opinion, especially getting back to Murfreesboro, where is the main goal for what they want to do.
Got to get a shout out to the golf team. Summertown girls win another district region title. They're as good as advertising. The Lawrence County boys golf team.
I'm telling you, I was surprised about them. I didn't watch enough about those guys, but hey, that team right there, all of them can play. It's not just one person. All those guys can play, and so that's what I really like about our golf programs, not just at Lawrence County, but also in Summertown. Those teams are really, they bring good athletes when they come out of high school and go to the next level.
So we got the baseball playoffs going on right now. The Rangers ended the Rays season today with a 7-1 win in front of nobody. Lowest crowds in Major League in playoff history since the 1910s, when they didn't even build ballparks that big.
I don't know.
It's sad state of affairs. The Twins are leading the Blue Jays right now 2-0. Brewers and Diamondbacks they should be getting underway
Yeah, they
here.
should be starting up
Arizona
anytime
leads
soon.
that one. Arizona ended the season pretty red hot. I know firsthand because of how they owned my Cubs in the last month of the regular season. Phillies and Marlins. Phillies lead that 1-0. That's coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. But it's kind of fun to see these. I was skeptical early on of these best of 3 series, but if you watch those crowds and you watch the quality of baseball, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good baseball, and with it being the wild card round, they only play 3 games, so it's best 2 out of 3. But kind of going back to the Tampa Bay, we talked about it, like you said earlier, they won 99 games, and for their fan base to
Only
just
19,000 showed up for the first
19.
game.
Are you like seriously?
Oh, it was only 19,000.
Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of my early rant, just kind of like, that team had a chance to win the American League.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that, but hey, shout out to the Rangers, because I know they had a rough start of the season. But
they started really hot.
Yeah,
and kind
they-
of
yeah, exactly.
The end.
Yeah, they
got
started hot.
at
Yep.
hot at the end. They
Got
had
hot at the right time.
Quite the roller coaster season, but also coming up here. Me and you were talking about a little bit off air. Next week, hockey season starts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of unknowns. A lot of deals are made in the off season. My team's coach couldn't stay out of his own team's privacy. If you don't know, Google search Mike Babcock. You'll see everything my team, the Columbus Blue Jackets, have gone down. However, still excited for hockey season to start up. I think we've got you excited. Or at least
hockey?
we've convinced you.
Yeah,
that
but I say,
hockey
I
is
wasn't-
going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
this year.
exactly. I kind of tuned in a little bit during the playoffs last year, and I'm like, okay, well, I think I kind of need to watch in this a little bit more. And then I kind of read about how these teams are, and how you said it's kind of going to be a little bit wide open, because we don't know with
many
certain
unknowns.
teams. Yeah, too many
Yeah.
unknowns. So, I mean, we're just going to have to see what that first week of hockey season looks like, and we're just going to have to determine, okay, this situation here looks good. I think I'm going to root for this team. I think they're going to be a real good team, and we don't know with this situation here, but hey, I'm excited. It's coming up soon.
I'm just excited to see if Columbus can get the first overall pick out of the draft lottery again, because that's what we're destined for right now. Sure, if they win 30 games, I'll be thrilled.
Yeah.
But
That'd be perfect.
NBA season's about to start up, and you've got your odds there. And I mean, you couldn't fully commit to the Celtics winning it all, but that's kind of where you're heading. Right?
I think so too, because I have the odds right here. I wrote them down. Right now the not Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks are plus 375 with the addition of Damian Lillard on that team.
I don't think that's going to work.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think they've got 2 of the best players in the world. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But I don't know what the rest of this team looks like. And, they got a new head coach, Adrian Griffin, the assistant for Toronto last year. So we'll see what he brings to the table. But also you got the Celtics plus 400 with the addition of Kristaps Porzingis this year.
Yep.
They got Drew Holiday in a trade that he was in Milwaukee, got sent to Portland for Damian Lillard, and then got sent to the Celtics. But they lost a lot with that. I mean, they lost Marcus Smart to Memphis. They traded him.
Yeah,
Malcolm
that's right.
Brogdon, they sent him to Portland. And also Robert Williams, one of their young big men, got sent to Portland as well. So, and they gave a few first-round picks. So we'll see how it looks for them. But, I mean, like I said, there's no reason that team shouldn't win. And then you got the Nuggets, defending champions, plus 500. The Suns with KD, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, plus 650. The Lakers plus 1,200, and Warriors plus 1,400. So those teams, I'm not really sure, but the top of the list are the Bucks, Celtics, and Nuggets. So
give me Joker and the Nuggets, Dusty.
yeah, give me the Joker and the Nuggets.
we know
Maybe
you're
out of the
listening.
West, maybe out of the West, but
We're going Joker and the Nuggets.
Joker and the
We're
Nuggets.
going to wear our Nuggets jerseys and root for Joker all season long.
We're gonna have to rerun this video whenever the NBA Finals comes around. The Joker wins it again.
Should do a live stream just to watch it with Dusty to see how mad
I want
he
to see him
gets.
lose his trophy again, see what Dusty does.
Well, coming up next here, we'll have a head coach Nick Quillen of the Loretto Lady Mustangs volleyball team. It's coming up next here on xSports Live from Hinie's BBQ.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
Whether it's popcorn, biscuits, or automotive, you need the right ingredients to achieve the best results. Heritage Automotive is proud to serve our community with a continually growing inventory. We also help our community grow by contributing to a vibrant economy, which helps build schools. I'm Keith Durham, and I'm the General Manager here at Heritage Automotive, and it's my job to make sure that you're 100% satisfied. Heritage Automotive, your hometown Chevy and GMC dealer.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretto, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
If there ever was such a thing as a company that could do almost anything, well, Hinie Properties is it. These guys know how to completely transform your existing home into something new, or just do it room by room. Need a new bathroom or kitchen? What about a fresh coat of paint? Even a new floor? Looking for dirt work? Hinie has you covered. Oh, and you can even rent a dumpster from them too. That's Hinie Properties. Visit Hinie.com or phone 931-244-4602.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back here to xSports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ, joined by the Lady Mustangs volleyball team head coach Nick Quillen. And Nick, thanks for being back on here again for us. And has your blood pressure gone down? Is your pulse okay?
It has. I can breathe a little bit now that that it's settled a little bit. And then tomorrow we start back practice, and then it just starts all over again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was just talking about last night's game. What a thriller that was. Summertown starts off on fire. Barely take that first set. You guys take the next 2. They make a comeback there in the second. The 5th set was kind of a culmination of the whole game. Back and forth. But you guys ended on a 7-1 run there at the end to take the district title.
Well, and I mean, it's just like we always talk about, like you can't ever count Summertown out, or, if the roles are flipped, us, if it's us two, it's more likely it's going to be a good match. And, from a fan standpoint, whatever, that's what else could you ask for a district championship? Right. And, kind of a rematch of last year's state championship, which we still have got a long way to go. Both teams do, but we just talked to the girls about it's about how you finish, right. And Summertown is playing much better than they did at the beginning. So we've got to be on our toes with them and figure out how to adapt and still be able to handle them, because we'll probably see them in region and ideally in state as well. So is
that kind of the test you guys needed? This time of year to kind of wake up this team right now?
Yes, and we play a lot, in Alabama and see different teams, but sometimes, the Alabama teams, they're classified differently, and so, good competition is good competition, but, it's a little bit easier to gauge who you're playing when you're up in Tennessee. And obviously with Summertown, we need matches like that, whether we win or lose them, at this point. You want to win them all, whether it's to move on or to host, whatever it may be. But having something like that to where we're having to fight and battle out and actually figure out what to do and adapt and do those kind of things that sometimes we don't necessarily get, we want that. So.
Yeah, last night was certainly that. You had some calls that didn't necessarily go your way, that were kind of, those 50-50 ones. Right. And raucous crowd. that place, I had trouble hearing coming out of that gym. You were on the court. You probably had it worse than I did. So that's kind of a, I wasn't, maybe I should have been expecting that when I walked in the gym the other night, but that was one of those kind of unexpected, this is tournament time.
Yes,
sort of atmosphere.
And we're very fortunate to have the parents and the fans that we have, because it makes a huge difference. I mean, and I get on my girls quite a bit when we go places and we don't have that, and it's just kind of dead air, and you don't play as well. Like it's almost sometimes monotonous and just kind of slow. And so when you have that crowd to back you and are screaming things just in general, whatever it may be, it definitely makes the environment a whole lot better to play in.
Hey, absolutely. Well, Coach, appreciate you coming on. We were talking, AJ and I, before the break. We talked about it, how the environment was a thing. Can you explain to me what the mindset you're trying to tell your players about the upcoming, what's to come for this team? Yeah, I mean, we take it, one match at a time, and even though we see Summertown multiple times a year, we treat it each as it's a new match. It doesn't matter what happened last time, and obviously you look, first time was 3, second time was 4, last night was 5, so we've got to keep working to adapt and figure out things that we need to work on. But the mindset is just match to match, and then even in the match, point for point. And I think we, talking about, they had that hot run at the very beginning and scored on us. We talk about not letting teams get on runs. And more importantly, not making unforced errors to give them those runs. So it's one thing if you've got a great team on the other side of the net and they're just getting their kills or whatever it may be, but it's another thing that if we're getting ace and then hitting one in the net and then getting called for a net or something like that, that compounds the errors, because not only is that giving them the run, but those are things that can affect you mentally as well. So we just talk about all right, the next point, we figure out what we've got to do on that point, and if it's serve receive, we get out of that rotation so we can move on to the next one. Absolutely. Well, I think also another thing I want to ask is, we talked about the mindset just then. How are the girls thinking right now? I know there's excitement going on, just beat Summertown and Thriller like that. So what does it boost the confidence, do you think, and how much excitement is in this team right now? I think so, and that's one thing that we've really tried to preach is there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And we want to keep the confidence that we have coming out, but we can't come out arrogant enough that, okay, we've beat them this many times, like it's going to be another one. Because like I said, it's went 3, then it's went 4, and then it's went 5. So, we've still got to come out. This is a brand new match. What are we doing on this match? Not what did we do on the match before. But yes, getting the championship, that's always a great thing. Getting to host region is always a great thing, and I think it does boost the excitement and being able to play at home in your gym. But then same thing, once you get out on the court, you've got to kind of almost temper that excitement enough to stay focused and confident whenever we're playing teams like we're going to be playing Monday night. Absolutely.
Yeah, team-wise, last night, Allie really came alive.
She did.
I counted, I think, 22, 23 kills. Again, I got there halfway through the first set, so I'm probably off by about 3 or 4. But, we've seen a lot of her kind of be in a more setter back row position. But last night, whew, she was everywhere for you.
She is, and she's very versatile, and that's one thing that we talk about. Trying to be more successful is not just running your normal middle runs up the middle, outside runs outside, and right side. It's speeding up the offense, moving the ball around, and she's very versatile to be able to do that. She'll swing back row. If she's in serve receive from the right side, she'll hit on the right side, and that's a lot of our players are like that. But she's smart. She has a really good volleyball IQ. So.
And the whole team, I think, Mallory, Alyssa, Anna Kate was all in double-digit kills last night. I mean, how versatile is this attack? Where
it's great.
Clint, who's a Summertown guy, goes. I mean, this is like watching a all-star team.
Well, and that's what a lot of teams have their go-to player, and I mean that's the way it is. You always have your best player that you want to give the ball to. But the more that you can move that ball around and have the other team trying to figure out where's it going to go, that's going to give you the advantage. And we're very, very fortunate to have, players that they might not necessarily get the big kills that you just go up and just crank one, but they're consistent, and we're willing to set them all and not just keep pushing it to the same person every time and letting the defense set up on them.
I think that's something that JC and Becca do really, really well. Is they're both in double. I think Becca had over 30 assists last night. JC was, I think, over 20 as well. I mean, those two, those are the quarterbacks, really of the offense there, and they're really spreading that ball around really well right now at this point.
Yeah, and they work really well together as far as, because there are 3 rotations where they're both out there.
Yeah.
And so, granted, whenever JC's out there, Becca is more in the hitter role. But if JC takes the first ball, we still have Becca there that can either swing on it or set it, whatever we need her to do. But they work really well together as far as coordinating, what we're running and who's running what and when we're going to do it. Who's the defense on the other side of the net that we're running it against. So they're really good about knowing what to run.
You got home court advantage coming up here on Monday. All of the region games are going to be there on Monday. Just how excited it's going to be at the barn. I mean, you guys are the ones now. Forget basketball. Y'all are the ones closing out the barn.
Right, and that's what earlier. We thought we were going to be in the new gym, and we want that new gym at some point. But and I think I may have said this last time I was here. There's nothing like playing in the barn. Right. And, if we're going to be the last ones, like we want to be region or maybe even sub-state, on Thursday. And it's a rocking environment when there's a lot of people in there. It's not just this huge gym, so you pack in all those people and it gets loud. So.
It's a great place. It's one of my all-time favorites. So, coming up, you got Huntington and Madison Academy. Their matches are tomorrow night. Are you guys going to watch, or are you paying attention somehow to
We're not gonna go watch. I would like to go watch, but 2.5 hours is a little long.
It's a little long.
It's not just up the road.
You don't have that David Weathers money to
private
flight over there.
Yeah, but we're gonna try to find it. Sometimes they're on NFHS. Some teams have the NFHS cameras and such. So we're gonna attempt to try to watch it. But if not, it's and this is another thing we talk about. We take care of our side of the net, and then we make adjustments for what's on the other side of the net. So
it's kind of hard to sometimes find, and like you said, a 2.5 hour drive is not a lot of fun.
And like you said, between these two teams either team that you're going to be playing, what do you think those two teams possess that you think would benefit y'all playing those teams, if you know what I mean?
Well, I know Madison's usually in our region every year. They're one, and that district was one that which a lot of districts were restructured this year. I think ours actually was the only one that wasn't out of like all of single A, but they're usually there almost every year, and somehow we usually play them every year, and they're always just a very solid, scrappy team, and so it's not always the team that's going to get the kills, but if they're digging every ball you're swinging, that can be frustrating.
Yes.
And so it's the same thing. It's that mental, like, okay, they dug me, but I can still swing. Like I got to find a spot for the ball to drop. In Huntington, this is only their 3rd year having a program, and they were at region last year. Summertown played them, and then I think they won their regular season district this year. So they're coming up, and I've not really been able to watch or get any info on them, but obviously they're getting better. So I foresee them to be kind of the same. They're going to be that solid, scrappy, defensively team, and they may have hitters too. I just don't know that.
Gotcha.
How do these 5-set games help you guys on to? I know you went to one with Lawrence County. That was fun at the barn. How does that kind of prepare you guys for what you're?
Well, I think first off, it helps with fatigue and endurance. Because it's long. It's over 2 hours that you're playing, and 4 sets to 25, and have one go 26-24. So. Those extra points, that's something that they have to learn to fight through. Yeah. And sometimes it's a gut check, who can survive the longest and, outlast the other team. And then other thing too is, it's all about momentum swings. Same thing, they got first set last night. We come out, take the next 2, so it kind of swung back our way. But then, you get into that 4th and 5th, and it's more neck and neck, the whole time. So it just helps, having to just figure it out. It's not we're on this run and and we can coast. It's from point 0 to point 25 or point 0 to point 15. Like, you're fighting tooth and nail to figure out how to come out on top.
Got anything else?
I'm good. You got it.
All right, Nick. Well, thank you for stopping by here on xSports Live, and good luck coming up on Monday.
Yeah.
I've got all my volleyball schedules all mixed up.
That's all right. I do good to keep my days straight. So.
Well, coming up next, I visited Florence, Alabama, talked with some members of the North Alabama football team. We'll have those conversations coming up next on xSports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ.
McMaster's Home Gallery, where you'll always get a special price every day. Shop their new showroom full of name brand furniture, sofas, recliners, dining and bedroom suites, Serta bedding, lots of tables and chairs just to match your decor. McMaster's Home Gallery also has GE appliances. Stop by on Highway 43 in Loretto or call 853-6140.
Old School Rentals in Loretto, Tennessee is headquarters for all your rental equipment needs. Need a trailer? How about saws, tools, loaders, or generators? You can find all of that and much, much more at Old School Rentals. Owner Ryan Smith, located on North Main Street in Loretto, Tennessee.
From our humble beginnings to today, Parks Lumber Company has continuously served Lawrence and surrounding counties for over a century. Although we started as a small lumber yard in 1896, we have grown to include everything you need to make your dream project come to life. No matter your building needs, our experienced staff will be with you every step of the way to ensure you receive the highest customer service and attention to detail you deserve. Visit us at 106 2nd Street or on Facebook. We guarantee you will see working with PLC is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
At Smith Tax and Business Service, we offer many services. Along with personal income tax prep, we also offer tax preparation for corporations and partnerships. If you're a small business and looking for some extra help, give us a shout and we'll get you fixed up. Call Mary Beth Smith, Marion Matthews, Brooklyn Bates, or Michelle Staggs to find out how we can help you. Located at 208 Pulaski Street, phone 931-244-6633.
Hey everyone, this is Landon Saunders.
And this is Nate Patterson with Cloud9 Fiber.
We're excited to finally be able to offer Lawrenceburg our blazing fast, reliable, and affordable fiber internet services.
If you're looking for a more reliable and more affordable provider, we at Cloud9 Fiber have you covered.
Plans start at $50 a month, and we can offer up to a gigabit to your home or business.
We are excited to be able to offer your first month of service entirely free. We encourage you to sign up on cloud9fiber.com or by calling 931-201-9098 so we can help you make the switch today.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back to xSports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ. Today, I made a visit over to Florence, Alabama, checking with North Alabama football. Got a couple interviews here on deck, starting first with their head coach, Brent Dearman. Got the Lions right now 2-3 in his first year, facing some pretty tough competition right off the gate. Here is our conversation.
There we go. We got it down.
All right, guys, in Lawrenceburg, we're joined here by North Alabama head football coach Brent Dearman. Coach, here 5 games into the season, kind of assess where your team is right now.
You know, for us, it's kind of disappointing because our guys, you know, we set goals. You want to win the conference. You want to take care of big games at home. But realistically, you got 2 FCS wins for a program that didn't have any FCS wins last year. So reality is we're building. And we're not building with fool's gold. We're doing it the right way. We're really young. I think we've got 2 seniors in our 2 deep on defense. You know, our most of our guys on the offense side of the ball are young guys as well. So we're building it the right way, and we know that we're right there in every game against some really good opponents. So looking forward to where this thing's heading in the future.
I think the biggest thing you've preached in your post-game press conferences that I've heard is consistency. You have good starts, bad starts, good first halves, good second halves. Where kind of you guys can work on the consistency part of it?
Just eliminate our mistakes. You know, you come out in 4 of our games we had halftime leads. So we made a big emphasis this past week about being a better second half team. And I think our guys took it too far and said, you know, we're not going to be a good first half team this week. So you fall behind 27-7 or 29-7 to the team that won the conference last year. You dug yourself in a deep hole, and then you come out in the second half and got kind of on fire a little bit, and we're right there ready to win that football game. Outgained them by over 100 yards, and just mistakes are killing us, either slow start or turnovers or penalties at the wrong moment in the game. We just got to, and the more mature you get, the older you get, the more you play together, you eliminate those things. So we just got to get better at eliminating those big mistakes.
Yeah, strength of schedule for these first 5 games it's been really tough. You look at 2 Southern Conference favorites. You mentioned Eastern Kentucky. You know, you look at how tough this opening 5 has been and how well you guys have played through those first 5.
Yeah, you know, you've won 2 games, but you've played a really tough UT Martin team that's in the top 25 that won their conference last year. You played Chattanooga, who upset Sanford a few just right after us, and they'll probably be a favorite to win their conference. You took our conference winner down to the wire. You play a Mercer team who was second in the SoCon last year. So we haven't had many easy ones. We haven't had many cupcakes come down the schedule, but you wouldn't want any other way. You want our guys to be able to compete with the best in the country.
When you look at the biggest thing people talked about they knew how good your offense was going to be, but they wanted to see some improvement defensively. You think they're at where they need to be? Obviously, some improvement needs to be made as well.
You know, you always are looking for improvement. You always want to be better than you are, but I think that side of the ball has had a dramatic improvement. You know, we're second in the country right now in turnovers gained. We're getting better. We've given up too many yards in a couple games, but they get better every week, and it's nice that we got this bye week to heal up, because a lot of those guys defensively, you get banged up throughout the year, your shoulders, your knees, your ribs, so we can get healthy this week. So that's exciting going into the game next week, is to have a healthy football team.
Yeah, you mentioned the bye week. Some of the guys, we said in the post game on Saturday, you know, we want to keep playing, but I know for you as a coach, it's get healthy, because you got a lot of guys banged up right now.
You want to get healthy physically, but there's a little bit of mental health that you got to get. You know, when you put yourself through a fall camp and go right into a national game on ESPN, go right into this daunting schedule that we went into, that physically you want to be healthy, but also mentally, it's good. We're going to give our guys the whole weekend off so they can go home and see mom. They can get a home cooked meal, and some of them sometimes take their laundry home, and it's good for our coaching staff too to go be a dad for a weekend and enjoy your kids, enjoy your wives. So it's a physical and mental health this week.
You mentioned practice this week. It's going to be a lot of UNA versus UNA. What do you want to see out of your guys coming up this week?
You know, we created a situation yesterday, and I think I don't know if many people do this. We kind of came up with it on the spot. We did good on good yesterday, and we let our quarterbacks call their own plays, and we let somebody on defense got to call the defense. And the coaches, I made the coaches get out of the way. I want to see our guys compete. I want to see them learn ball, to see what is he going to call in this situation. And it really, as a coach, it tells you a lot about kids that on 3rd and 5, are you looking to hand it off? Are you looking to pass it? Are you looking to throw a screen pass? So we want to just see our guys compete and get better at fundamental football this week.
Got any future play callers on either side of the ball after what you saw yesterday?
You know, Edwin White, he definitely let us know he likes to blitz. I think he brought a couple zero pressures. Noah got the ball out pretty quick at times, so kind of lets us know that he wanted to be a quick game guy. But I could see a lot of guys on our team getting into that profession for sure.
I know it's your first full year as a head coach here at the Division I level. You've been a head coach at a previous stop before. How do you think you've handled things here in your first full year?
I think it's been pretty smooth so far. You know, they say the first year is the toughest year. When you're trying to get your feet under you, you're trying to learn the new school and their procedures, you're learning your players. But we got great players here. We got a great staff. I work for a phenomenal AD and president, so everything's been really smooth here. We're just going to continue growing and building.
One thing I have noticed is on the sideline, you're really passionate about your team. You're in the stripes ear a lot throughout the course of a game. Has that always been that way for you, or is this now, you know, you're a head coach, that passion has kind of gone up a couple notches?
You know, I was a baseball player growing up, and baseball managers, they know their limits, and sometimes what I've kind of figured out is your players feed off of you as a head coach, and they know that they don't have to fight their battles. I fight them for them, but also it's a way to get in our guys' ear to know that we're going to fight. We're going to be a team with grit. We're going to be able to handle adversity, and I just I got to stay on and make sure they make good calls.
I love the passion. It's a lot. It's kind of a breath of fresh air to see guys like you really get in their ear instead of just like, oh, hold on and move on.
I tell you what, it makes her a long Saturday night because I'm usually worn out by Saturday night or Sunday even, because to hold that for about 3.5 hours is tough.
Yeah. So, Coach, obviously after the bye week at the second half of the season, where do you want to see these guys going on game by game?
You want, like I mentioned earlier, you want to eliminate mistakes. We're playing good football. We're playing tough. We're showing grit. But now you want to eliminate the big mistakes. And if you eliminate those mistakes, more wins will come. I want to see more sound football. We're not always striking with our hands. We're leaning on people with our body. And that's at every position. So you want to see the fundamentals get a little bit crisper over these next few games.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for being here on xSports Live, and look forward to the second half of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Roll Lions.
And that was a good conversation I had there with head coach Brent Dearman. Right after that, I got to meet up with the guy from Southern Middle Tennessee, Rush Lansdale. Big part of the Lions' resurgence there on defense, trying to get the Purple Swarm back into shape. Here's our conversation with the Columbia Academy product. Now we're joined here by a Southern Middle Tennessee guy out of Columbia, Rush Lansdale. Rush, thanks for joining us here on xSports Live.
Thanks for having me.
So, Rush, 5 games into the season, you guys have played pretty well. I know the record doesn't show it, but how would you assess how this team is playing so far?
We're getting used to playing with each other. This is a new team. This is a whole new staff. I think we've shown a lot of good things, but I think there's a lot of things we can still continue to improve on. And we still have 5 more games, so we're gonna continue to improve.
One of the biggest questions people had was the defense. Obviously, statistically one of the worst in the country last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, things have improved for you guys this year.
Yeah, it is. And Coach Dearman's staff, they went in and they got a bunch of playmakers from the portal. We brought in myself, Edwin. There's some guys on the team that they brought in from bigger schools and stuff. But yeah, we just, we're still working on, that development with each other, the communication aspect of it. There's a lot of playmakers on this defense, and I think there's a lot to show in the future for what we can do. Every single game going forward, I think there's a lot that we can prove, and I don't think we've scratched the surface yet.
Yeah, obviously, you come here from Memphis, being from Southern Middle Tennessee. What made you want to come here to Florence and be a part of the Lions?
Honestly, it's my family. Yeah. So a lot of my family's from North Alabama. Just them being at my games and being able to support me. After the home games, I see my grandmother and all them over there. So just being around my family and, having that support system here is awesome for me.
Columbia Academy guy, being from Southern Middle Tennessee, how much did you know about North Alabama before you decided to come here?
I had heard of them, but it wasn't like it was now. So it's just, the program's building, what Coach Dearman's doing here. It's, we're getting the name out there on the map and everything. So just, I feel like I'm entering, the highs of, where it's going and stuff right now. So
obviously a lot of transfers on this team. You mentioned Edwin and several other guys. What's it like, coming into a new environment? And there's a lot of guys coming into a new environment and how they're playing and how they gel together.
Yeah, I think there's always some, unfamiliarity with each other. Just starting out, personality-wise, you want to get to know every single every person on the team. How they play, how they work. But I think a lot of our guys have come together. I joined in the summer, and I feel close to these guys. I trust these guys, and so it's nowhere near where we want to be. But we're coming together, we're gelling together, and things are improving each week.
Yeah, strength of schedule's been really tough. You guys are playing former conference champions, conference favorites. What's this competition been like through these first 5 games?
Yeah, it's definitely been a test for us, especially looking back at last season, what the team did previously last year. But it's, I think it's setting us up confidence-wise. We've played some tough teams, a lot of games we should have won, I feel like. And so, that just builds confidence in us, knowing that, the next step is winning those. And, we don't want to just compete with them. We want to win those. And so, just building that confidence, we can get that done in the future.
Yeah. Bye week here. What's it been like for you guys getting obviously an important week here of rest?
Yeah, we're still going to get after it in practice. The bye week's not a rest, but we also are, mentally trying to take a rest on, just calming ourselves down, getting ready for Abilene. We're going into the game plan, but just getting our bodies and mentally getting ready for that week next week.
Coach said you guys had a good practice yesterday. Players got to call plays. What was that practice like, knowing the coaches got out of the way and it was literally you guys versus you guys?
Yeah, it was good. I think it's good to do that because it gives us the opportunity just to be out there. Just the coaches aren't out there on the field with us, so we had a lot of guys calling plays and. The communication can be an issue sometimes with that. These guys are tired and trying to get the calls out, but I think it was good. It's just a good competition period to go against the offense, best on best.
Yeah, obviously you got 5 more games. Well, you got a few more. You're halfway through the season, basically after this. So where do you want to see this team progress moving forward here in the second half of the season?
Mainly, I just want us to grow as a team. I want us to fix the mistakes that we've let some games go by. There's been some close finishes that we've let go by. So trying to clean those up and trying to just clean everything up and finish games. We want to finish games. We've been in games. We've let them slip by at the end, but just want to finish games and get wins, obviously.
Yeah, Coach Dearman said the same thing. He's kind of preached consistency. You guys have either gotten off the great starts or good finishes. How do you guys kind of put those 4 quarters together?
I think it's just trust. We have to trust our coaching staff. We have to trust each other on the field. Things are going to go bad in the game. Adversity happens. Everybody's not going to play a perfect game. And so when those things go bad, we don't need to be pointing fingers at each other. We just need to, stay together. And, we're the ones out on the field. So, nothing's going to change. Something goes bad. We have to move on and, fight through that adversity and win the game.
Well, thanks, Rush. Thanks for joining us here on xSports Live. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And that was Rush Lansdell from Columbia, Tennessee. And previously, you heard from head coach Brent Dearman. Lions have a bye week this week. They had the Abilene Christian back in UAC play, looking for that first win in the UAC this season, 2-3 overall. Well, coming up next, Hayden and I will be talking about everything going down in college football and the NFL. That's here on xSports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
Do you have a small farm, a big farm, or just critters in the backyard to feed? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you need to make the short drive down to A&B Feeds in Etheridge, Tennessee today. Owner and operator Jamie Ayers has you covered and will treat you right. That's A&B Feeds in Etheridge, Tennessee. Great food is just a short drive to Heine's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heine's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we provided outstanding residential and commercial services through southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Whether you're shopping in Lawrenceburg, Loretto, Summertown, or Mount Pleasant, Tegan's Food Stores has you covered with the best quality food at the best prices. From Cash Saver to Superama and CB Foods, stop by your neighborhood Tegan's Food Store today.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back. xSports Live brought to you by Hinie's BBQ. I have Hayden going about, the wife's not letting me dress the kid as LA Knight this year. Yeah. I thought about doing a poll. Shouldn't my wife let me dress CJ's LA Knight? Yeah. Or yeah. Papa don't make no, Mama don't take no mess. Anyways, now going to the world of college football and the NFL. Starting off with college football. I think we're happy we're off the Deion hype train, Hayden.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, we could have been back on it for real if they would have came back, because I mean USC they had a huge lead. I believe at halftime it was 21-7, 31-7, I believe, something like that.
41-14 was.
Yeah, 41-14 was. Yeah, and I mean at the end of the game it was. I have it right here. It was 48-41. So they only scored 7.
And if it wasn't for some god awful time management.
Yeah, by Coach Sanders. Yeah, so I mean
they might have been in a spot.
Hey, we're off the Colorado hype train. I think everybody kind of understands. Like, hey, they're 3-2 now. They're still going to be a good team. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, like, hey, they're coming. That ain't real. But still.
Well, let's look at their remaining schedule.
Yeah, I mean,
3-2. Arizona State this week, but they got to go to Arizona State.
Yeah.
Home for Stanford, then to UCLA, back against Oregon State. Arizona comes to town, then go to Washington State at Utah to close out the season. I mean, you got to win 3 more games to become bowl eligible.
I mean, Washington.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, you got Washington State, Oregon State.
They don't have Washington.
They don't have Washington.
Okay.
State, yeah. So, but I mean, still, Washington State and Oregon State. Those two teams are pretty good.
On the road to close the season.
Yeah, on the road. So I mean, like, it's not just an easy trip to where they want to go, but hey, but still, shout out to Coach Sanders though, because I mean, taking the team that went 1-11 last year and already won 3 games, in my opinion, have already exceeded expectations.
They haven't gone over the over on Vegas.
They have not.
They haven't done that
I can't say that.
And by the way, Arizona State has the best name for a running back in the country, Scattaboo. This dude's a stud too. Great name for him.
But yeah, they got them coming up as well. But talk about USC a little bit, Caleb Williams. I mean, even though I don't think he's as hyped up as they say he is, still not bought in yet. He has been having a great season. I will say that.
They didn't step on the throat.
Yeah, they didn't step on the throat.
Lincoln Riley teams are notorious for not stepping on the throat.
They are, exactly. We saw it against Tulane last year in the bowl game they had. So, I mean, I'm still not sold on USC, but, hey, we'll see what happens with those teams.
LSU, Ole Miss, did they play the game of the year so far?
Boy, I'll tell you what, it really also reminded me of Tennessee and Alabama last year. That was a shootout, but, hey, shout out to Ole Miss. They were dominating for most of the game, and then all of a sudden LSU kind of came back a little bit, and they took the lead at one point, and then Ole Miss, that last-minute drive to put them up, I believe it was 55-49, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. But anyways,
have to hold on late when.
Yeah, and have to hold on late. Well, of course they did have a break with all the debris on the field, and then also after the game, then all the fans rushing the field, and security just being the best. I'll tell you what.
Being the Giants' offensive line, just letting everybody in.
Yeah, just letting everybody in. But hey, shout out to Ole Miss for another tough game that they had to play against LSU too. A good LSU team. So
I never in a million years would thought an LSU team would give up an SEC record 711 yards of total offense.
I saw that.
Never in a million years. I thought that would happen.
Never. I would never have saw that. But I mean, it just shows you how competitive the SEC is. No matter who you play, it might be Mississippi State and Georgia.
Yeah.
And that might be a good game. You never know. So that's the part about the SEC I love. It's just so competitive.
Speaking of Georgia, they overranked right now? Are they overrated right now?
Yes. They shouldn't be. Okay. They should be 3 in my opinion, because Georgia they were down to South Carolina at halftime. They looked terrible against UAB in my opinion.
Yeah.
They didn't look good in that game at all. They kind of like what you said about USC. Even though they were leading by a lot, they didn't like stomp and say, "Hey, we're the dominant team still."
Right.
They were. I can't remember if they were down to Auburn, but
They were.
They were, and it was a close game until the end there. But still, Georgia's the 2-time reigning defending champions. I get that. You got to put some respect on the name, but come on now, there's the dominance is not there anymore.
They haven't covered.
They haven't. No, they have not. And
once.
so, I mean,
Does that? I mean, Kentucky comes to them, and they always seem to, when they get challenged like this, to kind of come alive. Is that what's going to go down here on Saturday night?
I think. Well, first off, no cover. I think that's going to be a shootout for real because Kentucky, they just I have Florida win that game, no doubt in my mind. Man, Kentucky just stomped all over Florida. Mm-hmm. The Davis kid had over 200 yards just before or just after the second quarter started. Yeah. And so, I mean, hey, I don't like Kentucky, never will like Kentucky, but I think it's going to be within a 1 or 2 touchdown score game.
Do you think Tennessee got punished for how bad the Kentucky beat Florida? Because they dropped the spot in the rankings?
I was talking to you about that. Did they get punished? I don't know. There's a case. There is a case. I think you could be right on that.
That South Carolina win is not looking good right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Because they've lost to North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean.
And barely held on against Mississippi State.
Yeah, and I mean, they got demolished by Tennessee as well, 41-20.
Yeah, that game wasn't really close.
No, it wasn't close at all. The only time it was close whenever Spencer Rattler scored that diving touchdown to make it 10-7. After that, Tennessee just took off. But, Tennessee's offense really didn't look that great except the run game. Like you said, I believe they're 4th in rushing in all of college football. So, you got the 3 of them off. You got Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, and then Dylan Sampson in the backfield. Mm-hmm. And those guys, all 3 of them combined for 248 yards, and each one of them have a touchdown that game. So, and then also the defensive line. I talked to you about that. That defensive line had 6 sacks on Spencer Rattler that night. And then Kamal Haddon, I believe was his name, had that big-time interception. He's having a season as well for Tennessee. So, I think Tennessee, I know the Florida loss. That was hard. They got stomped by Florida, but I think they're sleeping on Tennessee more than I think.
I think Tennessee's starting to wake up.
They're starting to wake up, and they're on their bye week too.
They're on their bye week. So
they're on their bye week. They got A&M. They got A&M at home next week.
A&M's got Bama this week.
Yeah, that's going to be a game.
That's going to be a lot of fun. What would Dusty Kaiser? What's Dusty Kaiser's Bama say prediction?
I still don't trust Alabama. I think Nick Saban's going to have them going, but give me Texas A&M just so I can go against the grain. That would be my Dusty impression, but I don't know. I think Bama should win, though, just because it's in Tuscaloosa. Right. But hey, Texas A&M. Texas A&M looks good. I mean, they're
outside of that Miami debacle, they've really kind of come alive.
Their backup quarterback, he's come in and he's just put his foot in, and I mean, he's just
defense has been really good.
Defense has been really good. He stepped in where the starting quarterback came out and just they really haven't missed much of a beat. So we'll see how they are against Bama this week. So
let's go down the slate here, especially top 25. Let's actually start SEC wise. Kind of not a real busy week SEC wise. As my ESPN app is just deciding, you know what, I'm not going to work right now. Okay, first one, LSU, Missouri. That one's at noon. Why LSU is ranked, I don't know, but they are. But they might get ranked right back again. Missouri at 5-0. They've looked pretty good here so far this season.
Yeah, give credit to Missouri. I mean, that offense looks really good. Mm-hmm. They kind of remind me of Tennessee last year a little bit because, I mean, with their starting quarterback, I believe, Cook,
and they got Burden at receiver.
Mm-hmm. They got that's a duo right there. Yeah. But, I mean, I think it all started with that Kansas State win. You know, Kansas State, they're pretty good. They won the Big 12 championship last year. Mm-hmm. And so I think that kind of gave them a little burst in their head coach.
Yep.
I love their head coach, by the way. I mean, he's got them bought all the way in with what they're doing. So
a very non-SEC.
Exactly, very. I mean, he just against that. Of course, Vandy. We all know about Vandy. I shouldn't even pick them against Kentucky. Don't even get me started. But it's SEC and it's going to be competitive. But the way he talked after the game, how they beat Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
He talked with so much confidence, like, hey, we can go in and beat anybody. And that's what I like about them.
They're about to find out.
Yeah,
this
week.
That's going to be a big test.
Exactly. Of course, you know, LSU, they're 3-2. barely ranked. Even like you said, I don't even know how they're ranked at this point. But
two best teams they play, they've gotten curb stomped.
Yeah, but hey.
Well, you also got Western Michigan and Mississippi State, Bama and A&M. We talked about that a little bit. Vandy of Florida. I mean,
Florida.
Yeah, I mean,
we ain't got to say anymore.
Then Kentucky's at Georgia, and then Arkansas at Ole Miss. Might be a letdown for Ole Miss after that big game, but Arkansas has not looked good at all.
Yeah, well, and also I believe it's at Ole Miss as well, so they want to have home field advantage. But yeah, like you said, I had high hopes for Jefferson, Arkansas's quarterback, and he's just not shown it this year like he did last year. So, but hey, Ole Miss, I really think they're starting to figure out who they are now.
Let's take a look at the rest of the top 25. One me and you kind of highlighted, Fresno State of Wyoming. Might be the fate of the Mountain West sitting right there. That's two really good teams. That's 5-0 on the road at 4-1. And actually, Fresno State has 2 wins against Power 5 opponents.
Absolutely.
Wyoming's got a win against a Power 5 opponent. Their only loss is to Texas. That was a 1-score game going into the fourth quarter. This might be a good one. Actually, it's prime time on Fox.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
it's a good, and especially for the Mountain West Conference over there. You got Fresno State, number 24 in the nation, 5-0, and then you got Wyoming, who stunned Baylor. But hey, Baylor's Baylor. But they're 4-1, so, and it's also prime time. So shout out to the Mountain West for being where they are. Of course, Fresno State, I believe, is the head of the table there.
Air raid against ground and pound. So that's a
absolutely.
big contrast of styles. Arizona's at USC. That's your Pac-12 after dark. I mean, Arizona's much improved. USC, we just believe, is better. Oregon State's at California, coming off that big win against Utah last week. Cal's been kind of sneaky good. They got a couple losses, but Auburn and a tough and a hard-fought loss the other night as well. Miami against Georgia Tech at home. Georgia Tech lost to Bowling Green. Do the math. Pretty easy. Here's a nighttime one. Not many people are talking about Notre Dame at Louisville. Top 25 game.
Top 25 game.
I said Louisville's going to finish in the top 10 because of their kind of weakish schedule in the ACC.
I believe I picked them whenever we did our ACC championship picks and all that. I believe I had them in the championship game.
The pundits, the experts think that Notre Dame's going to go in there and boat race them.
No, it's in Louisville though. Notre Dame's good. Don't get me wrong. Hartman, probably going to be a Heisman candidate.
So many. This is their third straight ranked team they played. Ohio State, at home, at Duke, at Louisville.
Duke, at Louisville. So I mean,
at some point they got to wear down.
Yeah, it's exactly, and that's the thing with Notre Dame. Like they play tough competition. They're just in that independent conference there. But hey, shout out to both those teams. Louisville, like I said, they've got an easier schedule, and that's why I think they're proving. Yeah. But they are better than what I thought they would be. Yeah. Exactly. So I think Notre Dame will still win, in my opinion. But like I said, no cover. Yeah. As Corso would say.
Michigan and Minnesota, they're going to row the boat off the cliff.
Yeah, Harbaugh's back. We ain't got it.
Syracuse and North Carolina, kind of a sneaky. Syracuse had every opportunity to beat Clemson, didn't take advantage of it.
And they're 4-1 too, SEC or not SEC, ACC matchup.
North Carolina, pretty dang good.
Drake
we know about that. Florida State against Virginia Tech. Yep, we know how that one's going to go.
I wish it was at Virginia.
Washington State, UCLA. UCLA is better than what that record indicates. That one loss is to a really good Utah State team. Utah game. That was 14-7. But Washington State going to get a test there on the road, and that's a 11 o'clock kickoff for them at the Rose Bowl. So there'll probably be 500 people there. All Washington State fans.
I told you, I don't know what it is about me. For some reason, I need to watch one of their games. I've watched highlights, but I need to watch one of their games. Well, I have drank that Kool-Aid.
You probably can because it's on the Pac-12 network, which is about to be defunct.
Sorry, Pac-12 for all you Pac-12 fans, but hey, Washington State, I think they're a really good program. Yeah. I believe they're 14 now nationally ranked, 13. So in their area, so I mean they're proving why they should be contenders, and nobody's giving credit for Washington State because nobody really thinks about them in the Pac-12.
Maryland and Ohio State, in a battle of undefeated teams, and only one of them's ranked, and that's Ohio State.
And see, I think Ohio, and kind of going back to what we were talking about, Georgia being overrated, I think Ohio State's overrated as well. I mean, in my opinion, if Notre Dame knew how to count at the end of the game, they probably should have won that. But Ohio State, They had all that talk about Marvin Harris Jr. being the main guy as the receiver.
He hasn't been healthy the whole season.
No, he hasn't been healthy, and their offense has just not been clicking. I mean, their defense has really been kind of keeping them in their games a little bit. But, you know, Maryland also with
Tua's younger brother.
Yeah, Tua's younger brother.
He's dialing it up.
He's looking real good for Maryland. So, I mean, I think the only thing they got for him is Ohio State being in Ohio State.
Yeah.
But
and they're 20-point favorites in that game.
I see.
How in the world
that's
are they 20-point favorites?
That's going to be a 7-point game in my opinion. Yeah. Like one touchdown. Absolutely.
The big one, man, right off the get-go, 11 a.m. here Central Time, Oklahoma and Texas, Red River from the Cotton Bowl. It is delivered so many times. I think it's going to deliver again. 2 5-0 teams. I mean, they might meet up again in the Big 12 championship game. This is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of points coming up in that one because I think Oklahoma has finally gotten back on the right track.
Absolutely, with Oklahoma being where they belong now. I believe they're 12th in the rankings, 11th, 12th. And then you got Texas at 3. Both teams are 5-0.
Honestly, I think Texas is the best team in the country right now.
I think they are too. I know.
Yes,
Michigan,
Michael, we know.
We're not going to talk about Penn State yet. But hey, give it up to Texas, man. Though. They've shown why Texas is back, as they said. So I think it's probably going to be the best game of the year, in my opinion. Both these teams, Big 12, both of them going to the SEC next year. So we're going to have to see these teams. So I think it's going to be back and forth all night. So I'm excited, or all day,
all early,
or the whole day. Let's just call it that.
Yeah, it's that. Well, shoot, we got so many good games right off.
Exactly. It's going to be a good Saturday.
Noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, right off the get-go. And I got to give a Clint Brazier shout out to my Mountaineers. 4-1. 2-0 in the Big 12. 3 wins against Power 5 opponents, and Marshall Thundering Herd 4-0. We do 1-0 in the Sun Belt. Do have a win against Virginia Tech. We're at NC State at 2 o'clock. So maybe we can vouch to get into the ACC championship game if they beat NC State.
Though, I thought they were going to be good this year.
They got Virginia's quarterback and didn't bring the offense with them. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that Brendan Armstrong did set every record.
Yeah, he did. I mean,
at UVA.
Still, though, I mean, I had high hopes for NC State in the ACC this year, but it's not clicking this year for some reason for them.
Moving ahead now to the NFL, to the worst Thursday night game you can find imaginable. Bears against the
Commanders.
Good Lord. I mean, literally, I think the Bears are tanking to go get Caleb Williams, which is an indictment of all epic proportions on Justin Fields.
I mean, if I'm Justin Fields, I'm trying to get it out of Chicago quick, fast, and hurry because, it's obvious at this point. That Chicago is trying to get Caleb Williams. If Justin Fields ain't working, what's the point in having him? I mean, I don't even know if he wants to be there anymore.
No.
I don't think if he don't want to be there and you don't want to keep him, the best thing to do is trade him at the trade deadline.
I had a feeling he was going to be a bust when he went there.
See, I don't think he's really a bust yet. I know he hasn't performed it like what he is, but I still got little hope in it.
Some of the stuff that he said,
he do be making
acted,
the way he's acted and his on-field decision is not the best, but I still got some hope compared to other guys. Zach Wilson.
So, oops, I hit the wrong button. Sunday morning, got actually a good one in London. We got Jags and Bills.
Yep, the Jacksonville Jaguars and Bills. Jaguars are now 2-2. The Bills are 3-1. Dominated the Dolphins. I mean,
Bills are looking
absolutely, good. Bills are looking real good. Finally look like they're clicking now. But hey, I'm going to take the Bills on that one because I think the AFC South is just a little bit weaker than what we all thought now. Because we all picked Jacksonville to win it, but it's wide open with that. So I'm going to take the Bills just because they're clicking right now.
Titans and Colts. Speaking of the AFC South,
terrible.
Who knows? I mean, the Titans look good.
The Titans
against the Bengals, but
killed the Bengals.
You never know what team's going to show up.
Yeah, it could be the Titans that score 7 or not 7 points. It could be the Titans that score 3 points, and next week it could be the Titans that score 28 points. Yep. So you never know what you're going to get. That's why I'm hesitant about rooting for the Titans now.
Saints and Patriots, that's Patriots are they're at some point they got to find a way to part ways with Belichick.
Yeah, they do. See this. I'm taking the Patriots on that game just because it's in Foxborough. So
Derek Carr's going to fold up like a
exactly. That's perfect. That's also perfect. Hey, you know, you got Derek Carr that he might look good at the start of the season. Oh yeah, we got our guy now, Derek Carr.
He's never been the guy.
He's never
Let's
been
be
the guy.
real. Ravens at Steelers. It's kind of a toss-up game because you never know what Lamar Jacksons you're going to get. Steelers' offense is terrible, but
the Ravens look really good.
That defense, when the Steelers want to come alive.
Oh yeah, they can absolutely, and especially how Lamar Jackson plays, and it's a divisional game, so it's going to be a good game. But still, like I think the Ravens, I mean, they've been kind of surprising for me. They've been a little bit of a sleeper. I haven't been able to watch them as much, but
Texans in Atlanta. Texans have looked better. That was a big win against Pittsburgh, and hey, this is C.J. Stroud fella. He's coming alive. He's looking pretty good.
I think he's the top 10 quarterback in the league right now. I took the notes about it. If that tells you anything. 63% completion rate, 1,212 yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 57.4 QBR rating.
And looks comfortable in that offense.
I mean, talk about a perfect situation for a rookie quarterback. But hey, like I said, the Falcons, they're kind of Riddler. I don't know about him. Robinson looks real good as a rookie, but I like the Texans in this game.
Panthers at the Lions. Lions win that one.
Giants
at the Dolphins.
Giants look terrible.
Bengals at the Cardinals. I mean, well, I think the 49ers exposed the Cardinals last week with how good they're.
But it's at Arizona. It is at Arizona. But you never know.
Give me Burrow. Yeah. Eagles at the Rams. Eagles win that
all day.
Jets at the Broncos. First to 7 wins.
Yeah, first to 3 wins at this point. You know, never know with Zach Wilson. He did look good against Kansas City, but
Chiefs at the Vikings could be sneaky good, even though the Vikings are off to a terrible start. It's one of my NFC Championship game teams that's not looking good.
Yeah, it's in Minnesota though, so that's what they got going for them.
Packers at Raiders Monday night. And if you want to watch Josh McDaniels get fired in person, that's probably the game to watch.
Sometime
the big one though, Sunday night, Cowboys and Niners.
And the 49ers.
Zach is just going to go back to Santa Clara and get embarrassed again.
Embarrassed. I'll give you this though. If that Cowboys defense shows up, and Dak shows up, it will be a game.
Yeah.
But you can't have just one.
Yeah.
Cowboys defense is elite. No doubt about it. I think they're probably the best defense in the NFL in my opinion.
Their offense can't move the ball.
Their offense can't do anything. But these 49, I mean, I think Brock Purdy, in my opinion, he's been sneaky.
Yeah.
He's probably had, stat-wise, probably the best season in the NFL as a quarterback. You know, I did 67% completion rate, 1374 for the yards, 13 for 4 on touchdowns, interceptions, and 67.5 QBR. So
he's 21-20 for 289.
Absolutely, and Cowboys are 3-1 and 49ers are 4-0. So hey, like I said, we talked about it at the Jamboree game. We picked our Super Bowl favorites, 49ers. In my opinion, 49ers are the best team in the NFL right now, obviously.
Christian McCaffrey is just
going off. I mean, he's the best running back without a doubt in the league. Nobody.
You can pretty much let's be honest, you can put any quarterback in that situation, they'll look good. But Brock Purdy's a different animal. I know he's getting a lot of crap nationally. He has missed some throws, but when you got that defense, when you got a play caller like Shanahan.
Yeah, Shanahan, he'll make sure his quarterbacks
it's a different bunch. Well, coming up next here on xSports Live, Hayden and I are going to rant and close out the show. That's coming up next.
Fall on the Hill returns to Minor Hill October 7th from 2 to 8 with live music all day, vendors, hay rides, a petting zoo, pony wagon rides, a pop-up paint party, face painting, putt-putt golf, a jams and jellies contest, inflatables, and much more. Plus, don't miss the fireworks show at 8 p.m. Fall on the Hill 2023, brought to you by Minor Hill Alliance and Liquor World. Enjoy a day full of awesome music from Brace Killen, Damon Schrader, Josh Reisner, and Salem Rats. Armbands are $5. Don't miss Fall on the Hill, October 7th from 2 to 8 at 165 Ray Branch Road in Minor Hill, Tennessee.
What really matters during the ball game, discipline is not a popular word in our culture today. Yet we understand in sports that it requires a great discipline to compete at a high level. In Proverbs 3, verses 11 and 12, my son, do not despise the Lord's discipline or be weary of his reproof. For the Lord reproves him whom he loves, and as a father the son in whom he delights. Discipline is a good thing in all areas of life. Use it today and reap the rewards of it. And that message brought to you by your friends at the Leoma Church of Christ.
There are now more ways to save at Quick Mart. Become a Quick Club member and easily earn rewards on qualifying purchases at Quick Mart convenience stores using the Quick Club app, available on the Apple App Store and Google Play. To save on fuel for work, use the Fuel Rewards Pro app to earn 5 cents a gallon on work fill-ups and redeem the savings for yourself. To get started, visit fuelrewards.com/pro or download the app in the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back here to xSports Live, brought to you by Hinie's BBQ. Final segment of the show. We're going to be doing some ranting, man. Hayden, what's on your mind?
Well, we already kind of talked about it earlier. So, how in the world, of course I get it, there's AP coaches polls, but still. The Tennessee game against South Carolina, they beat them 41-20. Tennessee goes down, scores a touchdown. Jalen Wright, 7-0. Spencer Rattler, they go kick a field goal. Spencer Rattler goes down, scores a touchdown, diving touchdown, make it 10-7. After that, it's over. Tennessee takes over defensively. Defensive line gets to Spencer Rattler 6 times. They got him scrambling all the time. You know, and then the offense, even though Joe Milton had 1 touchdown pass to Jacob Warren in the corner, and then also 2 interceptions, you know, you don't like to see that. But they ran for 248 rushing yards. Like I said, Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, and Dylan Sampson all had 1 touchdown each. Absolutely demolished South Carolina. Duke loses to Notre Dame. There's another big time. LSU loses to Ole Miss. And Tennessee drops from 21 to 22. How does that make sense? Like, of course, I'm going back to what I said. Tennessee losing to Florida like that, yes, it's a bad loss, but still. And Florida lost to, and like you said, I think it kind of punishes that. But so say Tennessee goes, let's just say they win out. I don't think they will, but let's say they win out. I don't even know if we can make the playoffs. I really don't after Florida. Of course, I get it. These coaches polls don't really matter right now. If you're ranked 1, you might.
You went out, though.
Yeah, if you went out, you know, you
I
never
think
know.
you're good.
Yeah, but it doesn't. The rankings don't matter until the committee ranks. But that's my rant because like I said, rankings don't matter, but still, just make it make sense. I guess is what I'm saying. So just. Hey, shout out Tennessee on beating them. Let's get the bye week out of the way. Everybody get healthy. Prayers out to Brew McCoy. Also, I do have a shout out. I told him I would. Happy birthday to the point guard for UT Southern, Adarian Hudson. His 23rd birthday. I know he's celebrating right now. So have fun tonight, and I'll see you at practice tomorrow morning.
Yeah, don't go crazy, dude.
Yeah, don't go wild.
5:45 in the morning.
Yeah, 5:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. But yeah, hey, shout out to him. But also that's my rants. Hopefully these coaches can know that, hey, when certain teams lose, they need to be put where they need to be. When certain teams win, they need to be put where they need to be. If they're overhyped, like Georgia is ranked number 1. They're probably, in my opinion, ranked 3rd or 4th. So that's my rant for this week.
So I've got a couple on hand. The first one I'm going with football. We literally just read this on ESPN about Evan Neal, rookie right tackle for the New York Giants. He thinks that the New York Giants fans, who they got mercilessly booed by in their Monday night game against Seattle, he says they should boo louder. This is his quote. Why would a lion concern himself with the opinion of sheep? The person that's commenting on my performance, what does he do? Flip hot dogs and hamburgers?